Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter @ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/ScottPGallagher.
Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. Now, next week industry update is, I haven't put my notes down. I'm already screwing up. What a way to start a call. But it's going to be on the 1st of June. Can you believe it? At 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. This week, I've got an exciting call. Not a lot happened this week in local marketing, but I've got a couple of different things to talk about. First off, and I'm going to be looking for a couple of Local Marketing Source members to test something out that is absolutely revolutionary. Guys, this is going to change your business. It is an app, a mobile app, that is going to help you get new customers on a regular basis in an easy way. I mean, how awesome does that sound? That is one of the most difficult ways, difficult pieces of our business, is to get new clients and to get that meeting. And this is an app that is going to help you get that meeting with a lot less effort than you've ever had to put into it. There's a lot of opportunity to be able to grow this, and there is nothing like this that exists. It doesn't necessarily have to work entirely with the agency model. This is an app that can work with a variety of different businesses, and you guys, I want 5 people to test it out with, but I want 5 aggressive Local Marketing Source people that really want to grow their business in 2016. I want you to prove to me that this works. I know it works. We've tested it internally in our agency here in Algonquin, Illinois, and myself and my business partner have some pretty exciting plans with this app. We're pretty excited by it and what it can do and how it's going to help a lot of people make a lot of money. And I'll tell you, that's pretty exciting. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment, but I'm also going to cover, an update that happened this week in the industry, and it's just in regards, I read that Google serves 2 trillion searches every year. How big is a trillion? I mean, have you ever seen those little pictures where they'll show you what 10 looks like and what 100,000 looks like and what a million looks like? And the difference between a million and a billion is incredible. I mean, when you see it graphically, it's incredible. But the difference between a billion and a trillion is just it's phenomenal. It's unbelievable. And so a trillion searches is just, that's like, I'm just trying to run some numbers in my head, so I may be way off on this, but there's what, 2 or 3 billion people that have, no, not even, there's probably 1.5 billion people that have access to Google. I mean, I know that more than half the world's population is not connected to the internet, and the world's biggest market, China, does not have access to Google. So Google is probably serving 1.5 billion people, but it's doing 2 trillion searches. That works out to like 6 searches a day per person. Obviously, that's just an average, and some people are doing 25 and others are doing 2, but holy cow, the computing power is just mind-blowing. So, and Google has just said that 1/3 of searches are local. Think about that. Start to run some numbers, knowing that there's 23 million small businesses in the United States. This is a company that can, in their algorithm, have a dot in one spot, and it will change millions of dollars into somebody else's hands. A little tweak in that algorithm manipulates billions of dollars of transactions on a daily basis. You want to talk about having an industry by the balls. This company has every industry in that fashion. It's phenomenal. So I want to introduce and talk about these promoted pins in maps. You know, local is so big. God, I remember in 2006 when I started to learn about SEO. I'm learning about SEO from these gurus that are out there. And they've got, and it's all these, you know, there was affiliate marketing, there was, well, a whole variety of different affiliate marketing. There was AdSense, there was, you know, blogging, there was e-commerce, and there were so many different facets to go into. And when I started to get my education, I went to the biggest source that was out there, the most expensive education source that existed, and it was StomperNet. And they had nothing for these local businesses. And I'll never forget the feeling of feeling like a minion against all these other internet marketers that are dealing with all these awesome things like e-commerce and affiliate marketing, that it pulled me to that all the time. And I wasted a lot of time with the shiny object, but I had to make money. And so I was just pulled to the small business world because this is the people I knew. I had to sell them something. But I felt like a real piece of shit of this small little world. And pardon my own ignorance. I mean, I had the foresight, but I didn't have the foresight like I recognize today that I was on the brink of something. I was the first person in the internet marketing community that I know of that started to develop a product. I was not the first person to bring a local market product to the market. That was Howie Schwartz, and he beat us by 90 days. But I'll leave it at that. I won't go any further with that situation because you probably find a lot of my stuff in Howie's material. But nonetheless, we're the only ones, we're the first ones that got it that are still around. Local marketing source. You will not find any local marketing education anywhere on the internet that dates what we have that's still providing education today. So we're pioneers in the industry. And, you know, I went through a lot of these transitions of learning what this SEO world is. And, you know, how many times people have told me the SEO business is dead, you know, it's going away, Google doesn't want this, and how we employ certain things. And do you know that there's $63 billion spent in the United States on search marketing services? 90% of businesses in the US are small businesses, so we got to assume that there's like $50 billion being spent between 23 million companies on average. Like, hello. So that's kind of cool. And the third thing that I wanted to talk about today was some content marketing. We're hearing these buzzwords, and I hear them all the time, and they frustrate me. And I'm looking outside, and Chicago is getting a thunderstorm in a moment, and my windows are open. Good thing I'm on a wireless lavalier mic because I can walk around the building and act like a fool talking to myself. But content marketing is what I'm talking about. And it bothers me because what is this content marketing? It's a new buzzword. Content is king and blah, 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 blah. You know, the definition of marketing, I say it all the time, is creating content that resonates with an audience. Well, to me, that's like, duh, of course. You know, I remember being a kid sitting at the breakfast table and looking at the cereal boxes, and I always wondered, who are these cool people that get to design these cereal boxes? They must be so smart. Well, I've obviously learned a little bit different now these days that those people are, you know, marketing is trial and error. They try things, but they're developing a cereal box that kids like. They got my attention. So they developed a marketing piece that resonated with an audience. So content marketing is a bullshit term. It's it's what marketing is. There's no need to relabel what we've been doing. What's been happening with the SEO world, guys, if you haven't been able to read between the lines, I see there's a few people that are on the line, a little more busy this week than I am any other week, hopefully because of my post that I put on our Facebook group, because I'm excited. But SEO is just good marketing. we talk about building authority and building trust. Well, if your client is published in a local newspaper, that person's trust and authority in that local community is going to go up no matter what. That's holistic. That's organic. That's just marketing. Well, that's what we try to do. And then the SEO world says, oh, you got to create content and do article marketing. And well, what they don't teach you is items like segmentation, effective segmentation. That's what we try to teach here. So I want to talk about a case study that I just experienced with a client of mine on creating content. And I've taught this before. I've got a video inside the portal that talks about this, but I just wanted a reminder because we just had a home run with an existing client, and that's creating surveys. So let me give you a bit of a background. This is a taxi company, 125 drivers, 130 drivers that are out there in the Chicagoland area. You've got these vehicles. We all heard of Lyft. We've all heard of Uber. Lyft and Uber are taking market share. I'm a marketing partner with this taxi company, and we had convinced them that it was time, that they were getting a lot of negative. It all started with reviews. And we've been trying for reviews with our RAP system, our review acquisition system, to improve the review count so we can increase their footprint out there and increase conversions and increase ranking. But it was difficult. And I'm sorry, taxi service in Chicago, people aren't jumping to the foot to talk about great things about them. My chiropractic clients, well, heck yeah. Get some acupuncture. Yeah, it feels good. It's almost as good as that beer that I had last night. But people aren't jumping at the fact to say good things. And especially when you're running a business that's got independent contractors in it that aren't employees that you can't control in certain ways, you're going to get some complaints. And so I had some discussions internally with my contact, the executive vice president, and it was like, you got problems going on here. What are you doing about it? We're seeing these certain reviews and this and that. He says, listen, I've tried. And I said, all right. My goal is to get your company number one. We got you number one in many of your markets right now. And you also know that you've been with me for 3.5 years. And I want to keep getting, my $1,800 from you. So we got to keep doing what we're doing, creating content and getting. He goes, yeah. I said, one of the best ways for us to create content, went through our spiel, is, conducting surveys, but it's going to benefit your business in other ways. Okay, Scott, how? I said, well, let me get back to my statistical analysis days and, create a survey. We go out to your market. That's called primary market research. That's better research than anything that's out there. You're going to learn stuff about your business. And then you can take that information, that's measurable facts, take it back to your management, and your management can make decisions on changes. When they make these changes, I have gold of marketing content now. I can now create content that says, we as a business, we screwed up and we're fixing it. I have reason to communicate with their audience. I have feel-good content that I can create. It's gold for me as a marketer. So if my client agrees on doing this customer survey, I win. But I also know that they win. And albeit they're paying me for SEO services, we conducted an entire survey. We gave a $100 gift card to a winner. Somebody was drawn randomly for this internal survey. The survey was less than 3 minutes long. It was online. It was embedded on their website. It was mobile compliant. We emailed it out to their audience. We also targeted through Facebook advertising. Their total cost was $30 and change for the email system, and then $100 in ads for Facebook, and $100 for the gift. And then it's part of my service, so there was no additional cost for my company. So for a couple $100, they got this survey that was out there, and they got 241 respondents. So the sample size was 241, which gave us a margin of error plus or minus 3%. We had a great sample size, and the feedback was phenomenal, guys. After we collected all the data, after we closed everything down, we gave it back. We did a presentation, had a meeting with the client as to what they're changing, and their business is upside down. That owner immediately went and started making multiple changes within the business, 5 and 6 different areas. The manager I work with is dumbfounded. He's like, I am so thankful that these things are happening. You should see the change that's going on inside our company right now. He says, you wouldn't believe it. And I'm thinking to myself, feel good. That's what marketers do. We go out and get information, and we make business changes based off of that information. Good. Feel good. Well, of course I feel good because my clients are really, really happy because of this. I had one objective, but it was a win-win situation. And so now, from that feedback that we've been able to get, and because of these changes that they've implemented, I've got 3 and 4 months worth of content now that I can create in a whole variety of different ways. We also learned stuff about this business that they didn't know, and this information does not exist out there on the internet anywhere. It's brand new information for the people moving business. It's gold. We learned items like, well, they didn't recognize that 75% of all their taxi rides were either work-related, business-related, or airport-related. Once we started to look at all the demographics of that segment that was right there, we recognized that their income levels were higher. We recognized that their education levels were higher. And here's the big thing. They had a love-hate relationship with the ability to have voice communication. Well, of course that makes sense. They're a little bit of an older population that does that, a little more professional. They know that emotions are involved with voice communication. I talk about these things. Guess what? That's their competitive advantage, guys, against these rideshare programs, against Lyft and Uber, that they don't have, that the newer generation is looking at. Now, of course, this is a business that wants to capture some of that newer generation. And when we looked at the app, which about 40% of the population uses the app, and we got the feedback on that type of app, and there was 2 features that they don't have that Lyft has, that their customers were asking for. And even before I had a chance to have a meeting with my client, they went to the developer of that app and getting those things developed. How awesome is that? That now we have marketing material that we can leverage the fact that communication is a key benefit to why professional riders, airport riders, use taxi over rideshare. Holy cow. That article, well, who knows? The information that we were able to pull out is likely, it could be in the Chicago Tribune. Wouldn't be the first time we got this client into the Chicago Tribune either. So you want to talk about creating content for your clients, and when you're struggling for certain ideas, oh my God, I had my video on this whole time and I've been walking around my office. You guys just been looking at my green screen. But content, surveys. Get back to the app, guys, the cold calling app. I want local marketing source members. If you want to give a try, I got to be very careful about who I choose. I don't want the app to be out there and just sit dormant. I need people to use it. And of course, I'm looking for successes. If you don't have successes, so be it. It is what it is. But here's an example. Like today's just a great day. We got another new client today, and my sales rep was using the app 2 weeks ago, and in one day, on a Wednesday, exactly 2 weeks ago today, he booked 5 initial meetings. And we know sales. Like if you have 3 initial meetings, you're guaranteed to close. This was 5 in one geographical area. He hit his targets and conducted the initial meetings last week and got to close today. So the sales cycle being 2 weeks. No follow-up phone calls were necessary. There was the education that was driven. So I need 5 LMS students that want to grow their business this year and want to test this product. I'm not trying to sell you anything. There's no cost for this. But I got to be careful about who I choose. And my objective is to create case studies out of you guys and, of course, sell this to the local marketing source audience first. And once we have a proven sales funnel and proven all that customer service stuff of an app and whatnot, then we're going to bring it to market. So email me, scottg@localmarketingsource.com, to give that a shot. And other than that, guys, that's a wrap for today.
Well, thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.